Spha Mdlalose, Darren English, Ancient Voices, Makuzeni and Paul Hamner. Well, this is just some of the musicians that will be serenading event-goers at this year's Jazz and Classical Encounters Festival. This one-day festival of contemporary music is taking place on the 28th of November at the Spier Estate Amphitheatre in Stellenbosch. And joining us now via Zoom to tell us more about this event and what to expect come next weekend, we are joined by its promoter, Aymeric Péguillan. A very good morning to you, Aymeric. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Very good morning to you too. Thank you for having me.
Well, this festival is now in its second installment. How are you planning to make it better this year, considering all the challenges brought by the pandemic?
Well, it is indeed a very big challenge, but we feel, it's been a really tough year for many of us, and continues to be challenging. We've put a superb lineup. I actually need to bring a correction to the lineup. Unfortunately, Spha Mdlalose has had to withdraw a couple of days ago due to not having recovered from an illness yet. So we've got Nomfundo Kaluva, who's going to be stepping in and opening the festival. But I think, a lot of people are very hungry for live music. We are going to do that in a beautiful setting, the Spier Amphitheatre, as you mentioned, which is a unique space in the country, surrounded by vineyards, with Table Mountain in the background. And we are going to have, again, a superb lineup, and we'll have to respect, of course, all the COVID regulations because, we want to provide a safe space for everybody and make sure that both participant audience and musicians are there together in respecting all these regulations. But we feel that we've got a great lineup, as you've mentioned. Nomfundo opening, then Ancient Voices are bringing us into traditional and Western classical music together. And then a great collaboration between Darren English, the trumpet player based in Cape Town and in Atlanta in Georgia, together with Makuzeni and Navi Yuga is their new concept. This festival is really about bringing new creations to the fore by South African artists, and we're very excited about that. We'll have also Paul Hamner and Neo Muyanga for the first time in conversation together, two artists who navigate between the world of jazz and the world of classical music. And then we will end with Standard Bank Young Artist for Jazz 2020, Sisonke Conti, who is originally from Cape Town. And so it's a bit of a homecoming for that festival. We're super excited. It's going to be presenting his new work, Ugaba, The Migration.
Aymeric, jazz and classical music festivals go way beyond just watching an artist with a mic and backing track. Just take us through the whole production process that you're putting in and perhaps some of the performances the artists are going to provide the audience.
Yes, it's as I said, it's all about bringing to the fore new creations in two genres of music that are very popular in South Africa, and not necessarily with the same type of audiences. And it's also the whole idea of the festival is to bring people who don't necessarily go to the same events together because of their liking. But there is a lot of bridges, between jazz around the world and classical music, and as we see in our lineup, we have musicians who regularly travel between those two spaces. So it's a combination of young and more established artists. It's a combination of two genres, but also with this new work composed specifically in some instances for the festival. I'm referring more specifically about Neo Muyanga and Paul Hamner. Having these two artists who have several albums behind them, who have worked around the world, in Europe, in Asia, in the US, and collaborating with numerous artists, but never had this conversation between them together in South Africa. So it's something long overdue, and obviously for us it's very exciting to have this kind of new creations coming and being presented. Very excited also to have Neo Muyanga, Sisonke Conti, who is a phenomenal saxophone player. Okay. We're really walking on the footsteps of Winston Makuku. Very, very happy for us to have him.
Okay. And let's talk about the setting or the venue for this festival and why it is the perfect space to host the event.
Well, it's a wine farm, but it's an amphitheatre, which is normally a 700-seater. Unfortunately, we won't be able to fill it up because of the COVID regulations. But it's a beautiful setting. There's a river passing behind. There is Table Mountain in the background. The weather looks like it's going to be with us on Saturday. It's got a really good acoustic. The stage is very big, so you can even have big ensembles. And we'll be having a great grand piano also supplied to us by Ian Burgess-Simpson. So we're really happy, in terms of the production setting, and it's a fantastic vibe. People are very comfortable in there. They can walk about the farm as well between the acts, and there's enough time also to get something to eat and to drink. So it's a fantastic setting for a one-day festival. And for music listeners.
Mm-hmm. Aymeric, this has been quite a challenging year for event organizers. Talk to us about how you guys are now bouncing back, especially now that we are in one of the busiest seasons for concerts.
Yeah, it's been very, very challenging. I was very lucky to be involved in a project with a group called the Militia Consortium around militia broadcast. We did a concept called Urban Sessions, where we recorded a number of live stream concerts throughout the year, which are still available online. And, it's given an opportunity to musicians to perform, but without an audience. And we know how difficult that has been. There's been, a bit of relief coming through some various funds, but it's been extremely challenging for promoters and concert producers as well. And I must be honest, we do take a risk. We don't know how much response we're going to get. It's looking pretty good at the moment, but we feel that it's time to continue being obviously very prudent and serious about respecting regulations, because we're still at the end of that pandemic. But we can offer a beautiful offering of great live music.
And for those interested in attending the event, apologies for cutting you there. Give us more details on how they can go about doing that.
So the tickets are on Quicket, Jazz and Classical Encounters Volume 2. Also on the Spier website, spier.co.za. If they go into the event section, they will find the event and the ticket links. We've got a various offering of tickets this year, including live streaming for those of us who cannot make it to Stellenbosch. All
right, Aymeric, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
That was event organizer and co-producer Aymeric Péguillan. He's been speaking to us about the 2020 Jazz and Classical Encounters Festival that is set to take place next weekend. It is 8 o'clock, time for news.